How to start regulating your nervous system. Hi, I'm Megan. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, functional blood chemistry specialist, and energy healer. And regulating my nervous system and helping others do the same thing now played a huge role in my healing journey in being able to heal my chronic issues and keep them at bay for the last several years once I did all of the initial work. And if you're unfamiliar with what is a dysregulated nervous system or how does it feel, be sure to check out my previous video on what it feels like to have a dysregulated nervous system. So, how do we start now that we know we have a dysregulated nervous system? What are some things that we can do and steps that we can take to start regulating our nervous system, which will help us heal at a much deeper level and allow a lot of these healing changes that we're making that you're making in your life actually stick around long term. So number one is sleep. We have to sleep. Sleep is so important. It's massive in just healing and being able to restore our body back into a really good place every day. So we have to sleep. And if you have a dysregulated nervous system, chances are you aren't sleeping great. So there's a few things that we can do to help support. The first thing I recommend is just make sure you have some sort of bedtime wind down routine and you're taking the time to prepare for sleep. And for me, I mean, this is a 2 hour process for me. I really ideally need 2 hours to really like start to wind down, to start to relax and get in this deep parasympathetic state, which helps me sleep super great for about 8.5 hours every single night. Everyone is different, but have some sort of routine. It could be, 10 or 15 minutes as a starting point, and you'll figure out what you really need to help you get into a restful state to be able to sleep through the night. From a supplement perspective, supplements can help with this temporarily while you're working on some of these other bigger things. So, a couple options. Number one would be cortisol manager, which if you have trouble falling asleep because you feel just like really awake, even though you're tired and have a hard time falling asleep, and or if you wake up consistently around 3 a.m. every single night, this is often a sign you have a cortisol dysfunction, which is really common if you've got a dysregulated nervous system. So that's a great option. Take one or two about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. There's another product I like. It's an L-theanine and GABA supplement from Metagenics. And this is super great. The way I can describe it is it just like takes you down a notch. It's not going to make you tired. You can take it throughout the day, but it really just takes the edge off for you and brings you down into a little bit more of a calmer state, which can certainly help you sleep, can certainly just help you feel better throughout the day. But that is also a really great option. So, number two is add in a mindfulness practice. Have some sort of daily practice where you're working on managing your stress. This could be meditation, breath work, journaling, brain dumps, a walking meditation, just being present, noticing things on a walk, just being something to help bring you into a more present state consistently is super valuable. I recommend starting doing this once a day. I will say this is something that I continue to do multiple times throughout the day, and it helps me perform better at work. It helps me be more present in my body. Just make sure that I'm consistently staying in a more parasympathetic state and I don't spend too long in a sympathetic state. Super valuable. Has also helped a lot with manifestation work and some other types of things that I do in my practice. Number three is do gentle movement. Our bodies were meant to move, and movement is really valuable. But if we have a dysregulated nervous system, and oftentimes we have a lot of chronic stress, really intense workouts are just way too much. But walking, especially walking outside, getting outside in nature, seeing the natural light in your eyes, that's super valuable. This could also be stretching or just like walking on a treadmill at like low key levels of real gentle yoga, like a yin yoga. All super great. This can also help you be more present and mindful as well. So, this is kind of like you can double up on some of these things too. Next one is grounding and getting out in nature. So, walking is a super great way to do this, but also you can just work on grounding. And if we think about grounding, this could be gardening, getting your hands in the earth, your hands in the earth and the soil and on plants. This could be putting your feet on the ground. This could be touching trees. The earth has its own energy, vibration, and we can get some of that and we can absorb a lot of that. And it can be really, really healing for our bodies. And so spending, a couple minutes every day just with your feet on the ground, getting some natural light. Once again, you can like touch a tree, you could hug a tree. That can also be super healing for a lot of us. These are all really great options to just absorb some of that energy from the earth, give the earth some of your nervous energy, dysregulated energy, and help you be more present. This is something I do every single morning. I go outside with my little dog and we spend a few minutes outside just looking at the earth. We play around a little bit. I have my bare feet in the ground in our yard, and it's amazing. Great way to start the day. And then the last one here is doing deeper work. So deeper, and I'll say deeper trauma related work. And this can be a little bit harder to do on your own, although it's certainly possible. But some options when we think about doing this bigger, deeper work: trauma therapy. Trauma therapy is super valuable, very different than cognitive behavioral therapy and just regular talk therapy. You do want to find someone who specializes in trauma therapy, because it is very, very different. It's a different skill set, different techniques within that. You can also look for people who do certain types of trauma therapy. For me personally, I really like somatic therapy. And this is really relating to your body, getting into your body, releasing things out of your body, and or EMDR therapy. And EMDR therapy is really about changing neural pathways and changing out of these trauma patterns, and giving you tools to do that on a regular basis, which is amazing and so, so valuable, especially if you have a trauma history. You can also do brain retraining and brain rewiring work. This is super great. There's a lot of resources out there. I will say not all of them are great, but there are a lot of great ones. Some good places to start looking: Abraham Hicks and Joe Dispenza have some really good information and tons of resources and free resources available. So those are good starting points. I don't think they are the be all end all, but I do think they are really good places to start. Energy work. Energy work, this is one of the biggest things that moves the needle for me. So this could be Reiki, this could be other types of energy work. And this really works on moving stuck energy, which if we have a dysregulated nervous system, there's definitely some stuck trapped energy, blockages going on, and it helps to release and move those so the body can get into a higher frequency and start healing. And there is lots of science to back this up. If you're like me, I was not on board with energy work for a long time because I didn't understand it. If you look at some of the work around quantum physics, that's really the science and where the basis of energy work comes into play. Another really good one, and this is not as accessible, but it's psychedelic assisted therapy. This is something that I've done. You can certainly do ketamine. Ketamine is more accessible, but there's also, if you've looked at any of the research, all of the studies and clinical trials that have come out with psilocybin and MDMA assisted therapy, where it is legal, this all can be also really, really valuable. And I will say this has been a massive game changer for me. And this is some of the work I've done in the last year and a half or so, almost 2 years now. And this has taken my regulated nervous system to a whole other level, but it is not right for everyone. And do not do this work on your own. Be sure to work with someone who is trained and has experience in this type of work. So start here. These are great places to start regulating your nervous system so you can heal. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow for more on how to heal from a truly holistic place.